Jim, a tenant at 1 Church Street Flat A in Darlaston, and my landlord is Mr. R.K. Maley. I am writing to you because of the improper maintenance of the building in which I live, and I am convinced that the owner does not legally carry out renovations and replacement of the external and window facade, and is unable to deal with mold and moisture in this house. Additionally, fire regulations are not respected. A building listed in Category 2 is listed because it exhibits some form of significance, whether it's a project, because of the person living there, or because it's a good example of local vernacular architecture. It doesn't really matter, but relevance is one of the main reasons it will be listed. It may not be like this if it has been changed since then, and any changes must be approved by your local authority's maintenance department. Planning approvals or rejections will show details of what was allowed in the LA conservation. There is a gray area. Repairs and maintenance do not require a permit. However, these are to be secondary by nature. Repainting the kitchen walls, repainting the windows with gray paint, if they are already gray. Minor wood frame repairs, for example, removing a rot spot and repairing the face properly. Tearing down the entire wooden gable frame and rebuilding it is not a repair and requires conservation approval. I have lived in this house for 15 years and I have seen and experienced many things. In the part of the house of 2 Church Street, the owner replaced the windows with plastic ones, and they are not the same windows as they were years ago. The shop windows and frames of the shop windows at 1, 2, 3 Church Street are colorful like knickknacks at a market. Part of the 2 Church Street building was destroyed in a fire in 2006. The ruins of the site of fire remained untouched until 2019. In 2019, workers demolished the ruins of part of the building. The 200-year-old bricks from this historic part of the building were most likely taken away and, I suppose, resold. 2 Church Street roof and gutter renovations also do not match the historical originals. In the roof part, the roof surface was replaced with tar paper and the old metal gutters were replaced with plastic ones. On the roof at the front of the building, the gutter is not airtight and rainwater runs off the walls and the rotten window. The artful and historic stoneware plumbing in the gardens of 1 and 2 Church Street has been replaced with a plastic one, I suppose without the required permits. I advised the owner that there is a modern technology to repair old sewer pipes and it was not necessary to throw away and destroy these historical porcelain and stoneware sewers. But he did not use this technology and destroyed the historic 1/7s. Bordering the double foundations between the property 1 and 2 Church Street across the width of the building from the entrance door of the tattoo studio, where on the south wall there is a chimney with a sewer pipe that is connected to a sewer in the garden. The section of the sewer pipe under the floor of the tattoo studio into the sump is flooded with water and sewage debris, because in this section the sewer pipes are broken and from 2 Church Street apartments the sewage is pulled into the groundwater and excess seeps through the foundations into the 1 Church Street basement. The problem has not been resolved in over 4 years, despite several notifications to the owner and Walsall Council. In the basement of 1 Church Street, there is a basement which is damp due to various water leaks and condensation, and the walls and foundations are brick-built and covered with fungus and mold. The floor of this basement is also built of brick on a sand bed, in keeping with the construction craftsmanship of the 18th and 19th century in England. I informed the owner not to interfere with modern construction and insulation technology in this historic basement. I informed him orally and in writing of the catastrophic consequences for this property after the use of cement, plaster, bitumen, plastic sheeting and concrete. Mr. Arkamani, the owner of the property of 1 and 2 Church Street, did not listen to me and disregarded my advice, and I am sure no consent from council Walsall for insulating walls and basement floor with bituminous mass, because it is not in accordance with the art of construction, and certainly no official did not permit this. This permitted the Grade 2 listed building in Darlaston. Mr. Arkamani poses soil covered with bitumen, damp brick walls were covered with fungus and mold, and on the antique brick floor of the basement he put a plastic foil which he poured with a layer of concrete. I decided to inform you about these activities, because for 40 years I was the host of a similar building, and I know how much you should strive for such a miracle of the history of construction, because someone finally gave it the second class. I have dried houses of the second degree of architectural history in London, and I already have experience in caring for such a historical object in other parts of Europe. But it does not matter, because the house I live in is damaged and requires professional inspection and repair according to the building regulations of historic buildings.